What is drain of wealth and what are its effects? What do you know about drain of wealth? The drain of wealth. Drain of wealth means that economic policies of the British in India were primarily motivated to snatch maximum benefit from India's trade. India's foreign trade generated large export surplus. This export surplus did not result in any flow of gold or silver into India. There was drain of India's wealth into Britain. The process of the economic drain actually started after 1757. The East India Company ceased to export bullion to Bengal as of that year, although some marginal export to bullion occurred to other places. All the purchases in Bengal and other parts of India were made out of the surplus of the territorial revenue of Bengal. The part of revenue devoted to such purchases was known as investment. Later, more components got added to this economic drain. Montgomery Martin, who made a survey of the condition of the people of Bengal and Bihar from 1806 to 1816, realized the enormity of the economic drain. He concluded the annual drain of 3 million sterling on British India has amounted in 30 years at 12%, the usual Indian rate compounded interest, to the enormous sum of 723 million sterling. So constant and accumulating a drain even in England would soon impoverish her. Nearly 1 century later, William Digby too concluded that the primary cause of India's deplorable condition was the economic drain. The view of William Digby was that the total drain amounted to 60,080 million sterling up to the end of the 19th century. The critique of the drain of wealth from India became probably the most popular sentiment in the anti-colonial nationalist narrative, that the colonial rulers were taking out India's money, leading to country's impoverishment, was conceived as the biggest economic evil of the colonial regime. Drain was conceived as unilateral transfer of resources from India to Britain without any corresponding economic and commercial gain. The venerated nationalist Dadabhai Naroji was the originator of the drain theory in 1867. In a speech, he argued that Britain was siphoning off India's wealth, which amounted to about 25% of country's revenue, which was added to the resources of England. In 1873, he further criticized Britain for ignoring India's interest and making it the drudge for the benefit of England. This, he stated, was unnatural and a monstrous evil. He declared that to stop the bleeding drain from India was the most important question of the day and exhorted his countrymen to summon all their energies to solve this problem. For about 50 years, he carried on his struggle against drain. His book Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, 1901, remains a significant milestone in the formulation of the nationalist political economy. The book of William Digby, 1849 to 1904, Prosperous British India, 1901, G.S. Iyer's Some Economic Nationalism, Economic Aspect of British Rule in India, 1903, and R.C. Dutt's Economic History of India, 1901 to 3, were other detailed works bitterly critical of the imperialist drain of India's resources. Several other leaders and newspapers joined this campaign, which soon became the central tenet of mass nationalist ideology.